What's up? What's up? Hello, everybody. This is Alvin Louie from Courage is a Habit. Welcome to Courage After Dark. How are you guys doing? Man, what a January it's been, huh? Isn't it? It's been absolutely insane. We have been going nonstop. I don't even feel like we really stopped, even for Christmas. I feel like we just finished last year strong and just came barreling into 2026. But I'm telling you, we've got the dumbest, most brainwashed kids and the stupidest woke white women, and then we've got the most advanced AI that human beings ever seen. It's like Skynet. I don't know. I don't think those two things are gonna mix. Maybe that's just my opinion. I'm no AI expert, even though I'm learning along with just the rest of you guys. But boy, I tell you, I don't think AI is gonna judge our next generation and the humankind too kindly. What do you guys think? I think we look pretty stupid to the most advanced AI that's ever been created. And they're getting smarter and we're getting dumber, thanks to our education system. All right, so my name is Alvin Louie. Courage is a Habit. We normally don't do Friday night Courage After Darks, but man, so much has happened this week. And we're traveling all of next week, and so we won't get to do a show next week. So I thought we would come on a Friday night, and I want to hang out with you guys. And hope you guys want to hang out with me because I'm planning on going a little bit longer than usual because there's so much to cover. So share this live stream, and let's have some fun on a Friday night. Come hang out. So I'm gonna just rattle off what I'm gonna try to cover. Right off the bat, I'm gonna talk about emotional blackmail because that's all the woke has is emotional blackmail. So I want to cover that and how to, especially when they're dangling children, and how to think through that and not get your empathy weaponized. We're going to talk about Renee Good. I know you guys forgot all about her because the media said, fuck her. there's the stupid gay nurse that got himself shot. So forget her. But there is something that the media did that I don't know if a lot of people noticed. Some people noticed, but a lot of people didn't. And I'm going to point that out. And I think it's good news. It's very good news. The Minnesota government treason. If you're on X, you can't miss it because there has been some amazing accounts that has been uncovering a lot of stuff. And we are so grateful for them because they do such amazing work. And it's great to be on this side because usually we're the ones that's putting out the work and digging through the research and showing parents and all of you what's going on in school. So it's nice to be on the other end and watching other people do work, and then we piggyback off of them. And then we found something that I think if you hadn't seen it, I wouldn't say it's shocking, probably not shocking, but it's certainly pretty damning. And I've actually done a ton of media on this thing that we found. And if you hadn't seen any of my media hits all week, I'll cover it right here. Because I figured, I've covered on everybody else's show. I haven't covered on my own show. That's kind of weird. We want to expose a couple of red districts in red states, how they're equally just as bad as blue states. I know people don't believe us. We always say that. People don't believe us. I want to cover that. I've been curating some insufferable woke white women videos that I want to share with you guys because it's hilarious, because they're cancers, and I think you'll enjoy it. And then last but not least, the Sunrise Movement. That's something that we had uncovered like 2 years ago, and I wanted to share with you how they got, how they're involved in all the Minnesota, attacking ICE and all that. We might not get the Sunrise Movement. Let's just see how the night goes. Maybe I'll end it with insufferable woke white women, and then we'll kick off the Sunrise Movement next time. Let's see how long I go. All right, everybody. So share this live stream because we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about a ton of stuff, relevant things that matter to every American, whether you have school-age children or not. Okay. So share this live stream. Welcome X, welcome YouTube, Facebook, StreamYard and Facebook. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. You guys don't shake hands anymore. So too bad for you guys. So if you guys are on Facebook, come on, I posted on Facebook to come on over to X. So, um, yeah. So what's up? I'm gonna log into. Give me a second. I'll log into or look at the YouTube so I can monitor comments there. Perfect. Okay. Very good. Very, very good. All right, guys. Hello, Jennifer McWilliams. See, this is the thing, right? One co-founder works on a Friday night, the other just sits on her couch, just sits on her couch and just watches. Actually, she's probably sitting on her couch watching like really serious shit for all of you guys. But I always tell her, don't try not to watch too much serious things at night, but I don't know. But hello, she's watching me. She should be working on something else. All right, cheers, everybody. Happy Friday. And let's see. All right. Let's get to the emotional blackmail. Let's kick off emotional blackmail. All right. Let's see here. All right. I'm going to play you guys a video. Liberal mom films this. Boy, you might have seen this. And I'll play it for you. Let's take a listen.
Okay, Max, tell me again what the other player told you during games.
So the goalkeeper in futsal, he said some really bad stuff to me, and it just made me get really emotional. In my game, and I barely get emotional in soccer. And this guy told me I'm an illegal immigrant, even though I was born in America. He said Trump is gonna get me and send me back to where I used to live, and I was born in America. I don't live anywhere else. And then he called me an effing B word, and I just don't get why kids like to say those stuff. It makes me really sad that how they just control their power like that. They think they have power, and it's just not nice.
Sorry, Max. Okay, Max, tell me again.
Now, when you watch this initially as a parent, obviously you're going to feel for the child because we're all good people. And this is how they weaponize your empathy and weaponize your kindness. And I want to explain this one concept before we get into the video and how to beat this and how to take this apart. Critical thinking cannot live in the same space if you have other heightened emotions. It could be fear, it could be anxiety, it could be guilt, it could be heartbreak. It could even be happiness. It could be love. It could be joy. But critical thinking needs to always have its own space in your mind. So so critical thinking doesn't work when you have other really heightened emotions. It cannot share the same space, and the other heightened emotion almost always kicks critical thinking out of the arena. So the reason why the woke always tries to weaponize your empathy and kindness is because they show you something like this, but knowing that your critical thinking doesn't activate. Okay. Now, let's talk about this video first of all before we get into the boys' words. Okay, because there's a lot here that when you take away the empathy, there's a lot wrong here. Okay. First of all, the woke white mother. All right. She picks her son up. Obviously, her son's upset. She goes, "What's wrong?" He goes, "Oh, nothing, like kids do." "All right, come on, Max, tell me what's wrong. What's wrong? What's wrong?" Right? Look, you can see the video. She's still sitting in the school. You can tell that she's still sitting. You can still tell that the background here, it's still in the school. You can see that, right? The back is still like is part of it. You can still see that it's probably part of the school where he's playing soccer. And so she goes, he's upset. So he tells her what's wrong. Then she goes, wait a minute. Can you say that again for a camera? You see, these degenerate woke white women, or these women, these liberal women, there's something wrong with them. No normal parent would do that. If your child tells you a story, you go, okay, what's the teaching moment here? What's going on? You don't go, hang on for a second, Max. I know you're really upset. Can you say that again for the camera? So right there, you know, this is bullshit. Just like the women on TikTok filming themselves crying. It's like that. Okay. So that's the first thing. So you know, this boy he's very fragile because he's got a liberal mom that's always talking about kindness and be kind and be kind and be kind and be kind and mental health. So he's very sensitive to any negative thing. I'm not saying that that other boys don't he didn't say that to him. I actually believe him because the schools, they're like this, right? This is what restorative justice, this is what all this stuff does. It creates this really hostile environment for kids. Well, but that's what the schools are. That's just how they're disciplined. They don't have any discipline. And so this is what happens. Okay. And so, but also look at the way he talks about it. Look at the way he talks about it. That's how they hold on to their power. That's how they exercise their power, whatever he said. What child talks about power? That's put into his brain through culturally responsive teaching. Power and privilege, oppress and oppressor. That's what happens. That's why he's talking like that. That's why it hits him like this, because he's been told, because he's not white, or he's mixed. He looks like he's mixed. So either his mom is white or his dad's white. He looks like he's mixed. And so because he's been told that he's not white, that he's an oppressed person, the second something happens, he goes, that's it. This is what I've been told. This is what I've been told since kindergarten. This is what I've been told. And so they're priming these kids. And so that's, first of all, that's the context I want everybody to look at. When you see something like this, you've got the mother, you've got the school, you've got all the culturally responsive teaching, all the critical race theory is priming these kids to go, yes, I'm a victim. Okay. So that's the context. All right. Now let's talk about the individual situation itself. Okay. We're going to talk about the young boy here, Max, and we're talking about the situation, and then how the woke uses this situation, which is ultimately the most important point. There's a lot of ways this mom could have handled that. I don't know if his dad's in the picture or not, but a father would handle it differently. Okay. There's so many lessons that you could have given this young boy to make him a strong young man. This kid's white. He told me that Trump's going to deport me. I'm an illegal alien. I'm an illegal immigrant. Are you illegal? No. Are you born here? No. So is he stupid? Yeah. Oh, but you can't say he's stupid. You see, this is why we set these kids up. If this boy really said that to him, the boy's stupid. There's nothing wrong with that to say, okay, Max, are you illegal? No. Where are you born? Are you born here? Yeah. Are you American? Yeah. So is he wrong? Yeah. So what's the problem? Why would you believe him? He's stupid. Why you don't listen to stupid people? That's it. That's it. Now he goes, oh, there are certain people I shouldn't listen to because they're dumb and stupid. But you see, we've taken all these words out. Be kind. You don't want to say that. You don't want to say that. You don't want to ever say that. You don't want to teach kids that there are stupid people in this world. Or really? Because we run into a lot of them all the time. Most of them work in the school. So because we've put kids in a bubble, this be kind, be kind, be kind. It's made them fucking crazy and weak. Mostly it's made them crazy and weak. There's the lesson there. Max, are you illegal? No. Is President Trump going to come knock on your door? No. Why? You're an American. All right. Is that boy stupid? Yeah, he's stupid. Don't listen to stupid people. Max, there's going to be a lot of stupid people in your life. There's going to be a lot of smart people in your life. This is a great lesson on what to listen to and what not to listen to. Does that make any sense? Okay. So this is the kind of stuff, right? This is the kind of stuff, I'll tell you a quick story and I'll come back to this individual, right? So, I had a friend, he had a little girl, and, he was one of my friends who had kids, earlier than our group of friends. And, obviously because we were, close friends, and he's like a brother to me, and he had a daughter first, and so it was just like we just loved this little girl, right? All the guys just loved her to death, right? She was just we just treated her like she was our own. And so, she was maybe about like, I don't know, maybe like 2.5 years old or something like that. And I said, because so she knows I'm a magician, and I performed, especially at the time I was performing a ton everywhere. And I said, I'm gonna magically put you back in your mommy's tummy, right? So I was messing with her. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put her. She's screaming and then so eventually she was like, she got a little bit upset. She was like, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to my mommy's tummy. And then my friend's wife, she goes, honey, she goes, come here. She goes, is Uncle Alvin really gonna put you back in my stomach? Does that make any sense? She goes, no, probably not. She goes, okay, come, be smart about it. Uncle Alvin's just playing with you. You see, there's a way to talk to kids and teach them things instead of just every emotion they have, you just drive it to the nth degree. So, all right. So there's so many different lessons. There's so many different things that you could have taught this little boy in his moment of grief, in his moment of heartache that the schools cause, this mother cause. But there's so many ways to teach him how to bounce words, how to use his critical thinking and say, are you illegal? No. Okay. Then don't worry about it. It's like COVID. You know how many parents drove the COVID insanity into their kids? And the parents that didn't believe it, you know what, those kids, they won't remember it at all. They have no neurosis from it. They have no anxiety from it, because those of us who didn't believe the COVID scam just told our kids, don't worry about it. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect your friends. And every time it came up, oh, did more people die? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's not going to affect you and your friends. Instead of, oh, we got to wear a mask. We don't want to kill grandma. Oh, we got to. Why are you putting that on kids? That's what the schools do on climate change, on racism, on everything. So because we put these heavy burden on kids, they lose their innocence. They don't get to grow up with their potential intact. They don't grow up in any strength intact. Okay. So that's when you see this, it's a teaching moment to be an adult, to be a parent, not to drive their emotions. Oh my God, this kid's horrible. He's such a racist. You got to hold on to his power. Doesn't mean anything. Teach kids how to have a thick skin so that they can weather life. That's what the schools don't do. So if you have kids in public school, you better be teaching them. You better be teaching them this, because if not, they're going to be a puddle of mess and tears. All right. The most important thing about this video, the most important thing is that the woke will play this and say, look how awful President Trump is. Look at this, the fascists and Nazis and white supremacy and da-da-da. Okay. This is the same thing that the transgender cult does when it comes to a man goes into a man pretends to be a woman, wants to go in a bathroom, and he goes, I can't go into a men's bathroom. I look like a woman. I'm going to be assaulted. They always do that. They always try to do the individual. Okay. Let's pretend for a second that everything I said about this young boy, Max, is not true. Okay. That they're picking on him. They're doing this and that. They're doing all the things that he said. Okay. And they won't stop. They keep telling him it's illegal, and his stupid mother keeps filming him. Okay. What does that have to do with deporting illegal aliens? What does that have to do with deporting violent illegal aliens that's killed so many Americans, so many parents? Parents have lost children. You've got drunk driving. You've got these illegals driving trucks. Even if they don't kill them, they've maimed the person. They've changed their life forever. They're always in pain. All the fraud, the billions they've stolen from us. What does Max's one individual experience have to do with ICE doing their job? Absolutely nothing. It's the same thing when they say one black guy goes, I walked into a store. They looked at me funny. So what? So they looked at you funny. Okay, get over it. Big deal. Oh, I'm a boy. I might get assaulted in the men's bathroom. Okay, then you get assaulted. Then go file a police report. For Max, if this is the problem in school, then the parents go and deal with it. Now, good luck with that, because of restorative justice and all the woke ideology, no one's going to help Max. That's beside the point. So go and do that. Either teach Max to defend himself, or you get the school to try to get these to punish the boys that are doing it, and they won't because of restorative justice, but you can try. The point is, what does one individual case have to do with the larger goal of getting rid of illegal aliens? And the answer is absolutely nothing. What does one guy getting assaulted in a men's bathroom, which he won't, but even if he did, so what? What does that have to do with millions of women having to put their own life and their own safety to let a mentally ill man in their locker rooms and their spaces and all those different things? Nothing. So the point here is, every time they dangle a child or an old person or a black person or a weird mentally ill person or a trans person or whatever they try to do to dangle these people in front of you, and it's an isolated incident, don't let them weaponize your kindness and empathy to change the collective. That's Marxism. That's what they teach. That's what social emotional learning is. Social emotional learning is a mental health Trojan horse that teaches kids that the collective is more important than the individual. At the end of the day, that's what social emotional learning is. At the end of the day, that's what critical race theory is. It's tearing down America, and it's for the collective. And so they use these like individual cases. This is why they use nonsense terms like lived experiences, stuff like that. So that's got nothing to do with the bigger goal. Max's one bad experience needs to be addressed. If it's a one-off, then it's a one-off. Then just teach him to grow a tough skin. If it's not a one-off, then the parents and the school needs to address it. That's it. That's got nothing to do with ICE. It's got nothing to do with Trump. It's got nothing to do with anything. And that is the pattern that they do over and over and over again. So don't fall for it. Okay? Don't fall for it, because you will see that pattern. But here's the thing about that. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Okay? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. All right. Share this Courage After Dark episode. We are going to talk about the woman that everybody already forgot. Lesbian butch Renee Good. I haven't forgot about her. Such a shame. The Democrats already all forgot about her. Legacy media. You guys are bitches. You guys are bitches. But no, I haven't forgot about her. I will use her as an example tonight. So share this live stream, and let's get to it. Have you guys noticed something? Have you guys noticed that every time the legacy media talks about Renee Good, they use a very old photo of her? You'll notice that? They don't use photos of her after the woke mind virus completely took her over and turned her into a ugly butch lesbian. Also, on the same vein, not only do they use a picture when she looks like a normal woman, instead of this insufferable woke white woman that's never met a social contagion she didn't love. If you look at every legacy media love piece that they try to hoist her up, have you noticed that they never mention her being a lesbian? I mean, seriously, go look it up. Go look up any piece on Renee Good. Just type in Renee Good and look at any piece from the legacy media. Whether it's Rolling Stones or CBS or whatever, any mainstream publication. Have you guys noticed that? They never mention her being a lesbian or part of the LGBT blah, 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 blah community. They try to do things like she's a mother. Whoops, she lost custody of her 2 kids. You know how hard that is for a mother to lose custody of not 1 but 2 kids in America's family courts? How shitty of a mother do you have to be for the courts to go, man, we just can't give you custody? because we all know the family courts are very, very slanted towards mothers, and sometimes for good reasons, sometimes for awful reasons. But the point is, if you're a mother and you lose not custody, not one or two, that's terrible. So the mother thing is like, oh shit, that didn't work. She's a poet. She's a poet. She's never written anything that anybody's ever seen or care about or paid money for or bought or anything. And they try to lionize her as a poet. What is there a poem out there that hasn't been written? That there's some poet out there that's like, I've got something that's going to change the world. There's some poem out there, even if she was a poet. I mean, they're trying to rewrite history on her. Same thing with the nurse, the stupid idiot nurse, pretty that got himself shot because he was, being a violent asshole. They're trying to rewrite these people's history, but it's not working. And I'll talk about why it's not working here in a minute. But anyway, back to Renee Good here. So not only they're using not using her recent pictures, they don't mention she's a lesbian. They tried the mother thing. They tried the poet thing. That didn't work. Then they tried that she was a Christian. They tried that for about half a day. I don't know if you guys saw that. She was a devout Christian. They laughed them. They laughed the legacy media and these people off. They fucking laughed them off the internet. So that lasted maybe half a day or a day. Then they stopped with that nonsense. Then they did something else. I can't remember. It was like a long list of things that they tried on for her. Oh, I know what it was. Yeah, I know what it was. They said that it was only a chance encounter. I swear to God, I know you. I wish I would have saved. I had it ready for tonight. I would have pulled up an article or something. But look it up. Look up Renee Good chance encounter. You know what? I'll try to pull it up now. I know you guys don't believe me. They really thought, they said that it was a chance encounter with ICE. No, really? I know it sounds ridiculous, but it is. You guys don't believe me. This is so moronic. This is so moronic. Oh, man. Okay, this is US. See, I know you guys don't believe me. This is so crazy. It's so funny. This is just one example. There was like they did this for like a half a day. Okay, fatal eye shooting was a result of a chance encounter. The family of Renee Good says. See, I told you I'm not lying. This is so funny. This is so ridiculous. And then they went around. I think a few other publication said it was a chance encounter. The family says a chance encounter. So she stalks ICE. She impedes ICE. She, blocks them. She stalks them. She writes about, she's part of an ICE Watch network that teaches them how to stalk them. But it's a chance encounter. She was just out grocery shopping, buying clothes for her one son that she still has custody of. It was just a chance encounter. You know how irresponsible the legacy media is? You know how many stalkers out there right now that are stalking women that when they break their, what do you call it? The restraining order, when they break that restraining order and then they get hauled in front of the judge, he's going to go, Your Honor, it was just a chance encounter. Sure, I stalked her to the gym and the grocery store and her work. And sure, I waited for her to get off of work and then followed her to a bar. But it was just a chance encounter, Your Honor. Just like Renee Good. It was just a chance encounter. These people are so fucking stupid and dishonest. It is just, you cannot believe how insane and how dishonest left-wing media is and the Democrats, and just Unbelievable. Like they tried everything. Chance encounter. They tried everything. So that I thought that was funny, right? I thought that was pretty funny because not only did they not use her recent photo, they tried all these other things on her, right? But the point of it, the reason why I wanted to bring that up, that I thought this was actually pretty good news. Okay, I thought this was pretty good news for us, is that even the legacy media knows that the LGBT, ABCD, MAP community, that is a toxic brand. And thanks to you guys, right? Everybody that finally said no more. No more men and women's sports, no more men and women's bathroom. We're no more there's no such thing as a trans child. So taking back culture is a very slow process. Just like when our enemies took culture, it was a slow process. It felt fast to us normal people because we weren't paying attention, but it wasn't fast. It was an 80-year march through the systems. So the fact that the legacy media tried everything to try to rewrite this woman's history and make her sound like an interesting person, but they never said, very, very rarely did I ever read any piece that she says she's a lesbian or she's part of the, queer community or anything like that. Because you know why? They know that does not make her sympathetic, that people are done with this LGBTQ trans shit. Done with it, completely done with it. So that doesn't hold any water. In fact, if they try to lead with that, they would make people care about her even less. And they know that. This is why they didn't lead with that. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I noticed it right away. I kept going, how come they're not leading with that? That's always what they lead with. Like if a black person, always a black person. But they didn't lead with that. That's what they always lead with. And I thought, oh, you guys, we've destroyed your brand. We've destroyed your brand. Your brand is so toxic now. You've got all these incredibly brave detransitioners coming out. You've seen what the transgender cult does to kids. You've seen the sexual deviant. You've seen the mentally ill, disgusting, pathetic men trying to bully women. So anyway, all that has destroyed the trans and the LGBTQ queer brand that these people, that the legacy media tried to hit. So they didn't use that for her at all. On the bigger point, in terms of how they're trying to rewrite these people, I posted your opt-out form on 2 neighborhood groups. Must have been over the target so much. Yeah, okay. Yes. I don't know which opt-out form you use. We have several of them, but yes, when you do that. So let me tell you a thing that a marker. Okay. Let me tell you a marker that we use at, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate that so much. So one of the markers that we use at Courage is a habit internally. Okay. And I'll tell you, and this will relate to your comment. We put out a ton of stuff, all throughout the year, right? We put out a ton of tools, strategies, content, and obviously everything we put out, there's going to be the hate. It's going to be the racist and the transphobe and the bigot and all that stuff, right? You're lying. And then we go, all right, if you're lying, come on, live stream, improve it. And they run, and I make fun of them. It's great. But so that's normal. Okay. That's normal. But when we put out something, like a big reveal, if we only get the normal hate, then we go, we missed the mark somewhere, because it's not painful for them. Because when it's painful, they scream. And then so we go, okay, did we make it too complicated? Did we miss the mark? And then we learn from that. And then oftentimes we put out something and they go nuts. They scream and they holler and it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. Then we know, that hurts. You're screaming in pain because you don't want parents to know what we just put out. In fact, tonight, I'm going to show you one of those things. I'm going to show you one of those things that we put out for the schools. We just put it out this morning. So if you got a lot of flack, now remember the opt-out form. All the opt-out form is telling parents, if you don't want your children to do X, again, I don't know what opt-out forms you use, but is if you don't want the schools to give your child X, this form will take your child out of it. Why do you think you got so much flack? They're going to say, oh, it's lying. It's not happening. It's not happening. Well, if it's not happening, then don't worry about it. Then the opt-out form is going to be irrelevant. But if it is happening and you're lying, then the opt-out form would move that child. Why do you care so much that the child is exposed to the thing that the parents want them to opt out of? You see, you're getting a lot of flack because they do not want the people in that neighborhood group to have the tools to protect their children, because they need the child to be indoctrinated, which is what we're seeing today. You got a lot of useful idiots. So that is why. Oh, you used the letter. Oh, yeah. Oh, damn, Grandma. You brave. You brave. You used the letter. Oh, I get it. Okay, we'll talk about that later. All right, Grandma. Thank you. I appreciate that. See, grandmas are tough, man. They're tough. All right. Much respect to you, because that's a hard one. Yeah, they screamed bloody murder when we put out that letter. So I'm gonna put up that letter and the 7. Did you? Yeah, and then we did the 7 questions. So thank you for sharing that. That made me very happy. Knowing, I don't know where you're from, but knowing somewhere there's a neighborhood group full of woke white women, and let's face it, Grandma, they were probably mostly woke white women, right? That were screaming. And all you did was you shared a letter template for parents to ask questions about what happens when their child is going to go to march. That's it. And they went nuts because they know that letter hits on the things they don't want you to hit. You are so welcome. You are absolutely welcome. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. That makes sense. Yep. So the reason why you've got these people, the nurse and this moron here, the reason why they're trying to rewrite their history, their life history, they're trying to make these two people be very interesting people. He's a nurse. He helps all these people, and she's a poet. He's doing this. He's such a wonderful person. He's a perfect man. Who was that moron on TV? That race baiter on TV. He's like, he's a perfect man. That's you want, every daughter wants to date this guy. Yeah, he's such a perfect man that they had to use the AI image of him at CNN. But they're trying to rewrite the history of these two people. And look, okay, I'm not speaking ill of the dead, even though they're morons. The people that go out and do this are not likable people. Okay? They're not likable people. They're dumb. They're easily fooled. They're easily manipulated. And these kind of people, if you actually just kind of knew them in real life, these kind of really woke, everything's woke, everything is white supremacy and white people this and stolen land this. They're just genuine. They're just unlikable people. And what makes them unlikable beyond all their weird shit is they're ungrateful. Woke people are the most ungrateful people on the planet. It doesn't matter how good something is. It doesn't matter how much progress we made. It doesn't matter the kind of technology to make our life easy. It doesn't matter how good things are. They will be ungrateful. They will find a reason. And then they have to come up with things like white supremacy and racism that is just this foo-foo-y unicorn in the sky. So these people that are out there protesting ICE and stuff, beyond their violent tendencies and their violent behavior and them blocking ICE and trying to keep illegal aliens in this country, which is what we should all focus on. The reason why the legacy media has to rewrite their history and try to fill in all these try to attack their life through of all this superficial lies and trying to pump up things that she's a poet and helped veterans and he was such a good man. He's a perfect man. The reason why they have to do that is because if you look too closely, these are just really uninteresting, ungrateful, unlikable people. There's something broken and wrong with them. This is why they never met a social contagion they didn't love. They posted the black squares. They think a child can be born in the wrong body. They're every flag that the left-wing media told them to do, they do. There's the Mexican flag, the Palestine flag, the Somalian flag, everything that they fall for everything. They're the one that double masked, triple masked, and got the COVID shot 5 times. And they're just unlikable, insufferable people. That's it. That's just what they are. There's no joy in their life. That's why they're easily manipulated. So now they're trying to make these people into martyrs, and it's very hard. It's very hard to make unlikable people into martyrs. And so that's why they got to fill in their life with all this nonsense. And it's so funny to see the legacy media try on different clothes for her, for the moron nurse. It's just so funny because they're genuinely just unlikable people. And so that's what I've noticed. All right, share this live stream, please. Courage After Dark. Courage After Dark on a Friday night. I want to feature a guy who's doing really good work. We love when just normal people stop complaining and start doing something about where they are, where they live. So I want to feature this gentleman here a little bit. So share this live stream, Courage After Dark. Alvin Louis from Courage is a Habit. They have no foundation in anything except that they've been told by the media. Manufactured lies built around victimhood. Very well said. That's exactly right. Manufactured lives built around victimhood. Isn't that the damn truth? Isn't that the damn truth? They have no hope. This is why they have no hope. They know that it's a manufactured life. And without being a victim, they don't have anything because they've never taken time to build anything in their life. It's just, it's all about your identity politics. Well, for people, for the white folks that are woke, is this full of white shame. That's the problem, and so I've talked about this before. I've talked about this in all many different shows, not just Courage After Dark, but everywhere. We don't even call it white guilt anymore. Okay, we don't even call it white guilt anymore. We call it white shame. Here's the reason why. This is a very important distinction. Guilt is feeling bad about something you've done. Shame is feeling bad about who you are. Guilt has an end. Guilt has an end. If you do something wrong and you genuinely feel guilty, then you try to either rectify it, try not to do it again, you apologize if it's appropriate, and then that's it. That's all you can do. Apologize in good faith and try to rectify that mistake if you can rectify it. But if you can't rectify it, then you try not to make the mistake again. And that's all you can do with guilt. Shame has no end. You can never rectify shame. So these woke white people, it doesn't matter. They can be bowing and kissing the feet of BLM activists. They could be allies and drive kids to the gender clinic. They could talk about stolen land and bullshit like that they don't even understand. It means nothing. Absolutely nothing. They will go out and stand up for Carlos the Illegal, even though Carlos the Illegal would slit their throats in a heartbeat without a second thought. It doesn't matter because they feel shame, and that's what the culture's done to them. So it's sin without redemption. That's it. And that's what the woke does to a lot of white people. And I hope that, and that's what they do to your kids. That's what they do to the white kids in schools. This is why you've got, and which is I'm going to show in just a few seconds here. You've got these super red states with really well-to-do suburbs, and they're mostly white kids, white families. Now they're simping for illegal aliens that would slit their throats from ear to ear and rape your daughters and your wives and your girlfriends and your mothers and your sisters without a second thought. But these kids don't know that. And they don't know that. I don't blame them. They've been brainwashed at school, but the parents should know better. But they don't because they're full of white shame themselves. All right, share this live stream, Courage After Dark. Let's go ahead and feature this this guy who's done really, really good work. What do I want to feature? He's done so many work. I don't even what do I want to feature? Let's see. Let's do two things. This guy's done a lot of work. Let me pull a couple things up. Yes, it is suicidal empathy. That is correct. We call it idiot empathy, but suicidal empathy is definitely the better term. I know that Gad calls it suicidal empathy, which ultimately is probably the best term because it is suicide. Ali calls it toxic empathy. She has a book called Toxic Empathy, which is great. She writes it for Christians because Christians are notorious for getting their empathy weaponized. It's like I don't know what it is. It's like they fall for it every single time. And so she wrote that book for them. We call it idiot empathy because we're not very nice. But suicidal empathy is really the best best explanation for sure. Let me see here. Let me pull up something that he did that was such a great exposure. Okay, let's do these two. Like I said, he's got so much, but some of it you need a little context, and I don't want to kind of go down that rabbit hole here because he's got a lot of. All right, let's do this here. So there's a gentleman here. His account is Indie Reporter, and I'll tag him on the stream here. And he's he's a guy in Indiana saying, look, I'm going to be an independent journalist. I'm just going to start putting stuff on X. And he does a fantastic job. He really does. He just goes out and with his iPhone, and yeah, that's what he does. And then he covers things mostly from from Indiana mostly. But he and I'm going to put his tag on the under the stream here. He mostly covers stuff from Indiana. But look, the reason why I love patriots and Americans like this guy is because he's not waiting. He's not making excuses. He's not saying, well, I need to get a certain platform force or a certain amount of followers, or I need to get better equipment. He just goes out and just gets better. That's it. That's all he does. So let's look at two things. I want to do two things. Here he is covering this guy. This guy is a total piece of shit. This guy's a complete piece of shit. He's in Indiana, see, red state. He gets voted in. Why? He gets voted in because the children have been indoctrinated. The college kids in IU have been indoctrinated, just like in any college. And this guy is a self-proclaimed socialist. He hates America. He was so radical that even I kid you not, he was so radical that even the Indiana Democrats kicked him out. Seriously. And he's elected official, Jesse Brown. He's just a complete piece of shit. But but the fact that he's sitting there shows you, number one, you've got all these woke white women that voted for him, and then you've got these younger people who've been indoctrinated in K through 12 to hate America. So he's a self-proclaimed socialist. He hates everything about America. He's just basically like Mandami. It's really exactly what he is, except that he's not Muslim. But these are the kind of people that want to tear America down, and he's an elected official. Listen to this moron. This is again, indie reporter. Give him a follow. It's his username is indie_reporter_. All right, let's take a listen.
Thank you for the permission, Mr. Chair. Is the cost of climate change. I know it's not sexy to talk about anymore for some reason, even though every scientist on Earth is pulling their hair out and talking about the catastrophic damage it's costing.
That's not true.
Not just to polar bears, not just to anything else, like nature and friendship and rainbows. It's causing real costs, especially, I might add, to immigration, right? A huge amount of immigration, and increasing, is caused by climate refugees, people whose farms were devastated by climate change and who are now moving to the United States. So again, I would love to see some numbers on the cost of that, which would go up if we have to build new natural gas plants.
Did you hear that? All the illegal aliens that come here and get free cell phones and open leering centers and old folk centers and stealing billions is because of climate change. It's because of climate change. You guys hear that? That's you see what I say? What I mean when I say he's a piece of shit, right? It's because of climate change. That's all these people here, that been arrested. This guy, Fernando Gonzalez, he's killed people, came back into got deported, came back. It's because of climate change. It's because of climate change. Ramon Garcia killed people, robbed people, drug possession from Honduras. Climate change. That's why. Ramon Hernandez, assault, driving under the influence, fraud, criminal, illegal, climate change. Yeah. This guy, all these people, all these wonderful people, climate change. Illegal alien in Minneapolis killed an innocent mother and severely injured two others after back-to-back drunk driving crashes in which he did not have a valid driver's license or insurance. Climate change. Larceny, identity theft, all these wonderful people. Diversity is our strength. The diversity is our strength, people. Yes. So that is, yeah. So I'm going to show you one more thing that indie reporter just released. This is very good. We will be doing something with this for sure. But let's take a look at his phenomenal work. He posted this a few hours ago in the afternoon. Zionsville High School in Indiana. Again, it's a red state, Indiana. 14 leaders. Okay. You got Abolish ICE Zionsville. Zionsville is a very nice town. It's a very lovely town, a suburb in Indiana, deep red Indiana. It is a very lovely, very safe suburbs. High school walkout, Monday, February 2nd. Abolish ICE. 14 leaders. He's got, look at this amazing work by this guy. He's got all their names, all their comments. He obviously got a whistleblower to break into this Facebook group. We've got all these people's names that are supporting weaponizing children to stand up for illegal aliens. No doubt, most of them are probably just woke white women, teachers, the school counselors, and whoever else, school staff. You've got these people now, the leaders and their last name. So we've got that. So we will be following up to see who these people are. And we will expose them for exactly who they are, for weaponizing children. Okay. So there we go. There's all the members to this group that he got. I mean, look, this is only 3 slides, right? And we're talking about it. And I'm saying, hey, this guy's done a great job. And it's a lot of work. This is a lot of work. This guy is just taking it upon himself to try to make a difference in his community, even though people are like, oh, it's a Republican state, but in the schools, it's almost imperceptible from a blue state school. All the brainwashing is there. All the critical race theory, all the culturally responsive teaching, all the queer theory is all there. And so this guy's infiltrated their Facebook group, and here are all the members. Okay, here are all the members. Mostly just woke white women, as you can see, and some pathetic cucks in there. He's only on the P's. So there's that. And then not only that, he posted this, and then like a few hours later, look what he found. Democrat state representative candidate. She's a candidate, so she's running. Tiffany Stoner is working with the superintendent to coordinate this walkout. So you've got a candidate, Democrat candidate, working with a superintendent to weaponize these children. Okay, to weaponize these children. And it's disgusting. Yes, it's a lot of money in Zionsville. And these people, these families in Zionsville have absolutely zero clue what happens to a city when you become a sanctuary city. I'm from a sanctuary city. I'm from a sanctuary state in California. There's no way for me to properly explain the devastation illegal aliens have on your safety, on your pocketbooks, everything. Everything. These stupid motherfuckers live in one of the nicest towns in America, and they're weaponizing their kids. These coexist people, weaponizing children to want these illegal aliens. These ungrateful, motherfucking stupid people enjoy the safety and the luxury and the services of a beautiful city built by conservative policies, built by white people. That's the truth. All the cities in Indiana that are safe, the high trust, are all built by white people, are all built on conservative values and conservative policies. And they want to bring the people who will slit your throat from ear to ear and rape all your women and your girls and your daughters and your sisters without a second thought. They want to bring that into these beautiful towns because, as I said before, they are the most ungrateful people that you would ever meet. They have no idea. All they have is their fucking white shame. That's all they have. And they think somehow that if they simp for all these brown illegal monsters, that somehow they'll be absolved of that. All they're doing is destroying their own city and their own town. That's it. That's all they're doing. And they're using the schools to weaponize your kids to do it. They have no idea the devastation illegal aliens bring into your town. They still believe that diversity is our strength. That's how stupid they are. Despite everything we have evidence of every city, every state, what happens. We have evidence of a whole nation in the UK and Paris of what happens when you have unchecked illegal aliens. Still, these stupid white liberal families weaponizing their kids because of their own white shame. It's fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. I've traveled a lot in this country. I have. And every town I go to that's high trust is almost always white. Almost always. The only other towns that I see that has a high trust is like these very small enclaves. Very small enclaves, like a Chinatown or a Japanese town, where they barely even speak English, but they only deal with each other. They've got their gangs and they've got some of that crime, but by and large, they can leave stuff out and there's not a lot of that. There's still like some kind of weird hierarchy, like the gangs do their thing, but they don't go and try to steal from old people and shit like that. So that's you can kind of make that argument, but that's the only semi-argument. Other than that, I have never seen a town where it's completely mixed, where you have a very low population of white people that is high trust. And what I mean by high trust is something as simple as this. When I go into a city or a town, if I see a store where they leave stuff outside, whatever it is that they're selling, and they just said, this is what the price is. If you take it, just put the money in there. You can't do that in a diversity inclusive city or town. You for sure can't do that when you have illegals, for sure. And it's so stupid. It's so disgusting that these people are weaponizing their kids. So you got a candidate and a superintendent, and he's got her name there. Somebody obviously gave her up, which is great. So I just, there's a lot of schools that are doing it. And then I'm going to give you guys, parents, I'm going to give you guys a tool right now to handle that. That's going to make a lot of people very mad. This is true. I see it as a failure of our churches. Absolutely. Cherry pick Bible verses, candy coated Christians. Oh. Grandma, you're speaking my language. Yep, candy coated Christians. That is so true. That is so true. So I'm going to give you guys a tool, because that's what we do at Courage is a Habit for these schools. But anyway, I want to give a shout out to this guy, Indie Reporter, Indie _ Reporter _ people like him just do such a good job. They do such good work, and it's great. I encourage everybody to just pick something that you are not happy about, and then just try to make a little bit of a dent, and you just take a little step. Doesn't matter if you write a Substack and only your mother and your sister reads it. We all start somewhere. Okay, everybody starts with one reader, everybody starts with one follower, everybody starts with one subscriber. Don't worry about the numbers, don't worry about the analytics. Just keep putting out good work. Put out work that you're proud of, and the rest will follow. I promise you that. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're trying to make a difference in anything, any lane, anything you're not happy about in this country, start with your local politics. I know it's boring. I know it's exciting to talk about, Elon and Trump and, Venezuela and Cuba and all that stuff. But that's not where you're going to make a difference, because you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to be able to do anything about any of those big things, those gigantic global national things. But what you can do is what this guy, Indie Reporter, did. He's making a difference in Indiana. And he's showing just how worthless the Indiana legacy media is, just like any legacy media, any of the local media is, because he is uncovering and showing things that they're not. And every time he puts something out and people see, like, wait a minute, how come I've watched the news. I watched Channel 13. Channel 13 is the news here in Indiana. I've read the Indy Star. Indy Star's piece is a shit rag. Absolute shit. I wouldn't put that in my dog's kennel. It's just shit. But a lot of people still read those things. And then when you see the work that he's doing, people start to realize, like, oh, the legacy media is exactly what people keep saying they are, right? They're worthless. They're lying. They don't cover real things. They're slanted. So don't worry about the analytics. Just put one foot in front of the other, All right. Tools. Let's hit it. Thank you very much. You know what? My little team does good work. They are amazing. They execute. And thank you so much, though. That means a lot to us. I truly appreciate that very much. Thank you. All right, let's talk about schools marching. Okay, so what do you do as a parent besides complain on Facebook, right? All right, so I'm going to give you guys two things. And I'm going to link it right here under the let me find. Okay, yeah, I'm going to link it under the stream, or the Courage After Dark stream, so that way you guys will have it. Okay, you guys will have it. And then I will read it and I'll go through it on how to use it. All right, so here's the first one on the stream. This is going to be the what do we call it? The letter, the template, the template letter for parents. Send to schools that allow anti-ICE protests. Okay, so that is now in our stream. So I will share the letter. Did I not? Oh, you know what I did? Oh, I hear there it is. I knew I did. I was like, I did that. I linked it. So, so what I shared was I linked the. It's a PDF, right? It's a PDF, so it's easy. We try to make it. All you gotta do is copy and paste it. That's it. Okay. You gotta fill out your name and your school and stuff. But this letter, this is the letter where that grandmother who just, if you guys just hopped on in here, she had said, let me just share her screen again. There we go. She called it an opt-out form, but it really is just a letter. And what she meant when later on she clarified that she posted it on 2 neighborhood groups and they went fucking nuts. So I'll read the letter and you'll kind of understand why they went nuts. Okay. So see, we think very differently because we know the schools very, very well and how they brainwash the kids and how they gaslight the parents and how they manipulate the parents. And so we know how to use everything that they've inserted into the school back against them because we know they have no way out. So when she had posted this letter into 2 groups, you would think it's just a letter that a parent can use, but they went nuts on her because they don't want parents using it. So if they don't want parents using it, you know what that means, then you definitely should use it. And we saw that too. When we posted it, it went nuts. They went crazy. We're like, oh, you don't like that. And so we had posted this yesterday. And they went fucking nuts for 48 hours. And so this morning, or less than the 24 hours, right? And then so this morning, we had said, let's do a second tool. And I'll show you the second tool. The second tool is even better. But I want to read this letter to you guys, and I want every parent to use it. Okay. I want whoever's watching, what you guys are watching, I want you to use it. Yes, use it. Okay. Look, a grandma who is tech challenged can copy and paste. You guys have no excuse. This grandma's going to show you up. This little grandma, I love you. This is great. You have awesome. See, she can copy and paste. You guys can copy and paste. All right. Okay. So if you don't use this, then this is worthless. Okay. If you don't copy and paste it and send it to your schools, this is worthless. Each of your school is going to have a walkout. Okay. Maybe it's happened already or it's going to happen. Either case, use it. Give it to 5 parents. I want you guys to give it to 5 parents and have them copy and paste it and send it to their school or the same school. It has to be in numbers. You can't do it. This is not a individual sport. Okay. This is a team sport. If you want to make change in your school, it's got to be a team sport. Here's the letter. Okay. So name, principal, school, okay. Name of district. So in this case, I'm going to use Noblesville because Noblesville is the one that we've been blasting, or Carmel Clay. But we'll use Noblesville. Okay. Noblesville School District frequently emphasizes its commitment to ensuring every student feels safe, welcome, and supported. I am writing to ask if the administration has considered how the planned upcoming anti-ICE walkouts impacts the entire student body, particularly those from law enforcement families. Many students in our districts have family members serving in local, state, or federal law enforcement. These individuals risk their lives to uphold the laws of this nation and protect us from violent illegal aliens. When schools allow or facilitate protests that categorize this work as inherently harmful, it creates a hostile environment for the children of these officers. It is worth asking, do these students feel safe and welcomed? Can they effectively focus on academics in an environment that has become toxic towards their family sacrifices? Now, I'm going to stop here for a second before I read the rest of the letter, because it goes into this case that the schools are going to try to use and lie to you about. And we're going to tell you how to beat that lie. But I just wanted to stop here on this first two paragraphs. The schools cannot shut the fuck up about safe and inclusive and welcome. Welcoming schools is everywhere. That is your school's thing. I promise you right now, if you go to your school district and type in welcoming schools, you will find welcoming schools. What they mean is transgenderism. What they mean is trans kids and gay kids and black kids. And that's what they mean. But they don't say that in their mission statement, but they practice that in schools. It means that white kids need to change. That's what that welcoming school means. So you use it against them here. They always say, if only one child doesn't feel welcome and seen and heard, like Max earlier, if you guys were here, as long as one white kid says something to Max, everyone's got to change. The whole policy's got to change. Everyone's got to everybody's got to go through training, retraining, re-education. Everybody's go through a struggle session because one white kid said something racist or seemingly racist to Max, who's a non-white kid. Everybody, the whole policy needs to change. Teachers got to read new books. We got to have new equity statements, everything. Okay, great. All right, cool. So if even one student in the whole school has a family member in law enforcement or federal law enforcement, he or she is going to feel unsafe in a toxic environment because his peers is out there screaming and chanting, ICE out, defund ICE. He feels unsafe. Has the school thought about that? Use their own bullshit, inclusive, be kind, anti-bullying policy against them. Okay. All right. While some may cite the First Amendment and Tinker versus Des Moines Independent Community School District 1969 to justify these disruptions, there are two critical points that must be addressed. Material and substantial disruption. The Tinker ruling explicitly states that the student expression is protected only as long as it does not materially and substantially disrupt school operations. A loud walkout during instructional hours is, by definition, a disruption to the learning environment. For those of you who don't know, Tinker versus Des Moines Independent School District in 1969 was a case where students wanted to wear an armband to protest the Vietnam War, high school students, and the schools wouldn't let them do it. So, of course, some liberal lawyer took it all the way up to wherever it went to, and the Supreme Court, and it ruled that the students had a right to wear the armbands. So that's what they always justify when students use their First Amendment rights to push left-wing, radical, anti-white, or anti-American policy. They will hide behind Tinker versus Des Moines. However, if a student wears a t-shirt that says there are only two sexes, they will say that's harassment. Some students feel unsafe and they feel it's is a dangerous environment. You're erasing them. You're attacking them. You can't wear that t-shirt. If a student wears Black Lives Matter and it's a anti-white movement, they say the student can wear that t-shirt because it's protected under Tinker versus Des Moines. Now, in practice, all those things should be banned. No kid should be wearing any political statements at all. But obviously, uniforms are a thing of the past because uniforms was, of course, oppressive. So now you got this bullshit. So let's just take the law as it stands. As much as I disagree with kids wearing anything, political or anything, just anything other than just your regular clothes. Yes, a child can wear Black Lives Matter. A child can wear, there are only two sexes. There's no such thing as a trans child. They can all do it. They can all do it, but the schools will only allow one side. They will hide behind Tinker when it suits them, and they will use harassment and anti-bully, and it's dangerous and it's toxic, and you're attacking kids when it's not woke. And that's the problem. Okay? So, that is not true that walkouts are covered under Tinker versus Des Moines. And in fact, they literally call it the Tinker test. Does it pass the Tinker test? Walkout is disruptive, so it doesn't pass the Tinker test. So no, the schools do not have to allow the walkouts. Here's the other problem for schools. Consistency in application. True freedom of speech requires viewpoint neutrality. Yet the district appears to apply First Amendment protection selectively. When I say district because this applies to all districts in all 50 states. All districts do this. So you don't even have to put your district in. Yet the district appears to apply First Amendment protection selectively. For example, students who decline to use manufactured gender pronouns based on their personal or religious beliefs are not granted the same freedom of expression. Instead, the district treats the refusal to use preferred pronouns as harassment or bullying, effectively compelling student speech under the guise of making others feel safe. If the school is willing to mandate speech and penalize students to protect the sensibilities of one group, it is logically inconsistent to then allow a loud, disruptive protest that actively targets and disparages the families of law enforcement students. The district cannot selectively suspend its safety and inclusion standards based on which political cause is being championed. That right there is what fucks them up. But you got to use it. You guys have to use it. This is a devastating rock and a hard place for them. But if you don't press them on it and you don't put them in the rock and a hard place, if you just complain on Facebook, it doesn't work. Okay. Then at the end, I urge the administration to cancel the planned anti-IS protests and ensure the school day remains dedicated to core academics. Shifting the burden of complex geopolitical issues onto the shoulders of children not only disrupts their education, but risks alienating a significant portion of our community. I look forward to your confirmation that the school day will proceed without disruption. That is a letter. That letter is devastating for them, but you have to use it. Please use it. We make these tools for you. We make these tools so that you guys that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. I would imagine that the majority of parents, unless that parent is an attorney, would have a hard time writing an email or knowing what to exactly say. Or if the principal comes back and go, oh, it's a child's First Amendment rights. Have you heard of Tinker versus Des Moines? Most parents would be like, no, I haven't. I guess she's right. Or I guess he's right. So we make these tools for you. That's what we do. That's what you guys support us for. And so when something like this happens, when you've got these ICE walkouts, we immediately put everything aside and we start to think, okay, what is the fastest way we can get tools into the hands of parents that they can use immediately? Not that they have to go and watch this video or read this white paper or understand this term, that they can literally, as soon as they see it, as soon as it hits their inbox, as soon as it hits their Facebook, as soon as they hit the newsletter, if you follow us or whatever, X, as soon as it hits their computer, they can use it immediately. And when when we're dealing with things that are moving so fast, like what the schools are trying to activate your children like this, we don't have time to try to make these like long, big changes. We just want to put tools in your hands so that you can use it and you immediately fight back and try to protect your kids and put the school in a rock and a hard place. And then hopefully that sends enough fear and enough anxiety in them that they said, okay, you know what? We're not going to allow this lockout. Let's just make some kind of excuse. Tinker test. Yes, most people don't know what that is. All right, my beautiful co-founder, what do you have for me? What if a kid has a family member who was a personal victim of an illegal? How good would they feel knowing teachers and students want to protect the criminal? That's another one. These school districts have thousands and thousands of kids. Okay, even small school districts have a lot of kids. And they love surveys. Okay, these degenerate groomers love surveys. They love surveying your children and getting all into their lives and your family's lives. One thing that we'll probably put this out next week because we put out 2 big things and we want, parents to use it. But we'll talk about it here because Jen and I talked about it already. They don't do surveys about how many children in their school district have had a family member or a friend that got either killed or hurt by an illegal alien. How do you think those children would feel when they see their peers and the school, the very school that they go to for 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, supporting these illegal aliens while their family has suffered irreparable harm? Either someone died or someone's injured and they're in pain for their whole life. Do they ever ask how those children will feel? They go, well, we don't know. You don't know? Great. Run a survey. You motherfuckers love surveys. Run a survey. I'll bet you there's at least a handful of kids that can say, yeah, my family member or a friend of a family, yeah, he got hurt, got killed, or something happened because of illegal alien. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's 10. Doesn't matter if it's 8. Doesn't matter if it's just 1. Based on social emotional learning and welcoming schools and inclusive policies, all it takes is 1 child. And I'll prove it to you. In your school, all it takes is 1 boy to say he thinks he's a girl. Whole school needs to change their policy. Bathroom policy, locker room policy, pronoun policy, sports policy. 1. That's the collective. That's what socialism is. That's what social emotional learning is. So use it back against them. Run that survey. Do you know if there are kids? If you don't know, you better run that survey. You guys love surveys. Run the survey. You find 1 child, can't do the protest because that child's going to feel unsafe. It's going to feel, he's going to feel bullied, harassed. The school set that up. The school set that up. You see, we don't think offensive enough. Our side is always on the defense. Our side is always linear. It's logical. But you got to fight. You got to have that dog in you. Our side don't have a dog in us. We just don't. When they're in power, man, they open the gates of hell. When we're in power, we're like, well, is that fair? Is that right? What if we do that and they do that to us? They're doing it to you anyway. What do you mean? Our side have no dog in the fight. We don't know how to think strategically. We don't know how to think offensively. We don't have a ruthless bone in our body. That's not a flex, by the way. Okay? To say you're not ruthless is not a flex when you're talking about people coming after your kids. All right. That's the first one. That's the first one. Use it, please. It's in the, if you're following on YouTube, you got to come over to X. You got to come over to X because that's when I put up the that's where I put the link. Okay, so if you're on YouTube, hello YouTube, what's up? Yeah, come over to X to see the link there. Okay. The other thing is I will put this link as well but I will show it to you in graphic form because it's easier on a live stream to show it to you. But I will also put this under the live stream. This is 7 questions to ask schools activating your children. Okay. And then in this thread, I'll show you the thread, but then I'll show it to you in artifact form because it's easier to follow. Okay. So this is the thread. I lost my screen there because this is the thread. Oops, wrong screen. Sorry. Okay. So this is a thread. You guys can't read it. That's why I'm going to show it to you in graphic. But I just want to show you. This is a thread with the 7 questions, and then at the next post is the link. So you can grab the link, and then there's the 7 questions. Okay. But I'm gonna make it a little easier for you guys to see because I'm gonna share this, not the post, but I'm gonna share it to you in graphic form. Okay. So okay. All right, guys. So the letter, you guys saw the letter. The letter is it talks about Tinker. It talks about, hey, what about kids who have a family or whoever in close loved ones as a law enforcement or even federal law enforcement or even ICE. You might have kids who have family members in ICE or working with ICE, Homeland Security, whatever. You got thousands of kids all across the country. Obviously, they got parents who are family members who work there. So that letter is basically saying, hey, have you considered that? If you haven't, you should not have these protests because remember, your school is about making sure every single student feels safe and welcomed. And obviously that's not true. This one here is 7 questions for schools that are activating your children. Okay, let's do this. This cover shows Minnesota, okay, Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Carmel Clay High School in Carmel, Indiana. If I did not label this, okay, if I did not label it for you, you would not be able to tell the difference between a red and blue state. You could not tell the difference, okay, if I didn't label it for you. We have told you time and time and time again, when it comes to K through 12, there is no difference between a red and a blue state. It's the exact same social emotional learning program. It's the exact same critical race theory programming, same culture, same queer theory, same cultural responsive teaching, same mental health. They use the ASCA standards, which is where all this stuff is built in. It's all built into the mental health. Here's the difference. Minnesota, Minneapolis is a shithole of illegal infested, Somalian infested city. Minnesota is an awful, terrible city because it's Democrat ran. Carmel, Indiana, frequently ranks as the top 10, if not top 5 cities, not in Indiana, in the country to live in. You could not pick 2 more different cities than Minnesota and Carmel, Indiana. They might as well be on a different planet. Everything about their entire town is completely different. The crime, the roads, the services, everything. The homelessness, the drugs, the beautiful restaurants, the shit Somalians and all the illegals and all the people that come from these shit countries lining up Minnesota, you could not be different than Carmel. Carmel is so fucking rich. They have money to create sculptures that look stupid. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because they'll just replace it if they change their mind. They'll pay somebody, tens of thousands of dollars to paint something and do something, which is great. They have these plants and these potted plants that they change out downtown. That's watered by gardeners. I mean, it's hard to describe how beautiful this city is. It's great. It's really great. And all cities should strive for that. But you have to work for it. It's not something that's given to you. It's not affordable housing, which is what our stupid mayor tries to do. Everyone deserves to live in Carmel. No, they fucking don't. You got to work for it. But Carmel is not built because of diversity. It's not built because of inclusion. Carmel was built on conservative policies of high merit and trying to attract just the best people and businesses and safety and being really hard on crime. These could not be too different, but yet their kids are imperceptible from each other because the education system of Carmel wants the kids in Carmel to vote for the policies to turn Carmel into Minneapolis and Minnesota. So when I said the cities, I meant Minneapolis. Okay. So that is what these deep red state schools do. They try to brainwash your kids to vote in policies to turn Carmel, Indiana into Minneapolis, Minnesota. Minneapolis and Carmel could not be any different. Could not be any different. But that is what they're brainwashing your kids to do. That's what these ice walkouts are for. Okay, so 7 questions. Share this live stream, by the way. Share this live stream if you haven't, because these 7 questions is something that every parent should use, because it's completely, you're putting the schools in a complete corner, and they won't be able to answer any of these questions. And that's what you can hold them to. All right, first question. If the school encourages or permits students to leave the classroom for a walkout, at what exact moment does the school's legal duty of care and supervision end? If a child is injured off campus during school hours, is the school assuming all risks for traffic accidents, third-party altercations, or missing children? They cannot answer that. You got to get them to answer that. Who's responsible? They'll be like, oh, it's the parents. If the kid goes missing and something hurts the parents because we got them sign out on a waiver form. Okay. But that means that you think about it as a parent, even if you do not want your kids to do it, you still want to ask the school these questions, because your school is creating a very dangerous environment. Look what's happening in Minneapolis, in Minnesota. Do you think children should be taking on something like that they have no understanding of? This is the height of irresponsibility, but the schools don't care because they're indoctrination centers. So parents, you got to hold their feet to that. Viewpoint discrimination. By facilitating this specific protest, is the school board prepared to provide the exact same logistical support, security, and immunity from punishment for students who wish to march for opposing causes, pro-ICE, pro-Second Amendment? If not, how will the district defend against a viewpoint discrimination lawsuit? So if your school allows an anti-ICE protest, you better start getting kids together and start pushing a pro-ICE protest and see what they do. If you don't have the guts to fight back like that, then yeah, they're always going to weaponize only the kids that they're brainwashing. Question 3, unsupervised minor. Are students permitted to leave campus property during this walkout? If so, has the school verified that every participating minor has a signed liability waiver specifically for this off-campus activity? How far away from campus are their students permitted to travel? They have to answer that. If they leave, how far? Could they just keep walking aimlessly? Is that what you want your kids to do? Question 3. Question 4. Instructional time. State law requires a specific number of instructional hours per year. Is the district officially counting the time spent protesting as instructional? If so, please provide the curriculum standards this activity meets. If not, how will the school remediate the lost learning time for students who were encouraged to skip class? Now, you and I both know that this is the instruction. Okay, realistically, this is the instruction time. There is no academics. Teaching them how to march, teaching them how to riot, teaching them how to block ICE later on, because remember, this is high school, right? They could be 14 years old, 15 years old, they're kids, 17-year-olds, they're kids. Even 18-year-olds are a kid, even though you got to say they're technically an adult, they're all kids, right? But they're preparing these kids. It's a training ground. This is training so that when they're 20 and 21 and 22, they can be morons like Renee Good or that stupid nurse. Your schools are training your children to be Renee Good, to behave like her, to think like her, to think like that stupid nurse that got himself killed. That's what they want your children to be because they need these useful idiots. For God's sakes, parents, for fucking God's sakes, fight back. Fight back. If you can't pull your kids, use our tools, use what I'm just showing you here, and at least make the schools think twice before allowing this. That's what they're setting your kids up for, is to be the next Renee Good. They don't give a shit about her or your kids. What they want is that flashpoint. What they want is that moment where they can say, look at that, and then pretend to care about your child, make a big deal about it. You got actresses pretend crying about it so that what? They can keep illegal aliens in this country. The schools sending your kids out to march, they would love nothing more than a child, one of your children, to get hurt or to get killed or to get into an altercation so that the legacy media can come and say, oh, look at how terrible this country is, all because of Trump. They're putting your children, they're setting up situations so that your children has a high chance of being hurt. That's what all these ICE walkouts are for. And all they need is one. All they need is one. So this is what the schools are doing. Training baby Marxists with their tax dollars. That's exactly what they are doing. That's exactly what they're doing. Question 5. Has the school vetted the external organizers or community leaders who may be meeting students at these protest sites? What background protocols have been followed for non-district individuals who have access to your children once they leave the safety of the school gates? We have a bonus question related to 5. So we'll come back to that. Question 6, truancy and policy. Does the current student code of conduct list walking out of class as an unexcused absence? If the school chooses not to enforce its own truancy policies for this event, what is the formal legal process for parents to challenge any future disciplinary actions for other unexcused absence, so long as a student cites First Amendment protections? Let me break this question down for you in practical terms. If you have a very smart but very wild kid, okay, but they're smart as hell, they can pass any grade, whatever, or any test, what you're asking them is, hey, school, Marxist indoctrination center, you're letting these kids march and just walk out because it's their First Amendment right. I can't do anything about it. What stops a kid every day from just walking out of school, and then when someone stops him at the gate, he can say, oh, I'm just protesting. It's my First Amendment right. What stops him from doing that? If you allow kids to walk out because they say, ice out, what if a kid goes, oh, I saw there's a volcano in India and they're dying and I'm protesting because I don't think that they're being treated right. Oh, there's a snail. There's a extinct snail in South America, and they're about to cut down the trees, and this snail is going to be extinct, and it's important to me. I'm protesting that. It's my First Amendment. What stops that? What stops the schools from doing that? The answer is nothing. That's the problem. Just like they don't stop kids from being furries and having litter boxes. Once you start that identity bullshit train, you can't stop it. Now, the problem with this kind of question is that the good parents obviously are not going to have their kids leave school because they're good parents. So then you leave those. So the only parents are these stupid woke white parents that think that their child's doing something. But you still got to ask the question. You got to make them answer that, because then you can follow up and say, so a child can just leave anytime they want because it's their First Amendment and they're protesting something every day. They can do it 5 days a week because that's exactly what their schools are setting up. But nobody ever holds their feet to the fire. You're reading these questions. You're like, yeah, these questions make sense, but nobody ever holds the school's feet to the fire. Nobody ever does, except us, right? And people that we train to do it, right? But not enough parents do it, right? Compel speech. What protections are in place for students who choose not to participate or those who support ICE? How is a school ensuring that these children are not subjected to an unsafe, hostile environment or peer-teacher harassment for their opposition or silence? So what you're asking is, how are you going to protect the children who actually support ICE? Or they don't want to participate? Are they going to get, is it silence is violence? You remember that? If you're silent, that means you support ICE. How are you going to protect the kids that don't want to participate? Maybe they don't want to participate because they just don't care, which is a lot of kids. Or maybe they don't want to participate because they actually support ICE. They actually understand that we shouldn't have illegals in this country. Or maybe they have family who's law enforcement. Who knows? Doesn't matter. The point is, how are you going to keep the students who don't want to participate from feeling like they're in an unsafe, hostile environment? They love that term. So ask them. Ask them. All right, bonus question. In relation to 5, so I'm going to go back to question 5 here real quick so that people know. Has the school vetted the external organizers or community leaders who may be meeting students at these protest sites? What background check protocols have been followed for non-district individuals who have access to our kids? The schools are so stupid that aside from just the few who are really, really organizing it, they don't know that these ICE walkouts are coordinated by all these left-wing organizations. Yes. This is found in freeamera.cal/partners. We gave you the URL. Here's the URL. Okay. This is the site, the Free America site. Free America Walkout Partners. These are all the left-wing organizations. It's a 100% radical left-wing, not 95%, not 99%, 100% is radical left-wing organizations organizing this in your school. So miss me with that bullshit nonsense that this is just kids just exercising their First Amendment rights. It's just organic. It's nice that kids exercise their civil liberties. They're not exercising anything. They're exercising their brainwashing. They're exercising their brainwashing from the last 5 to 8 years of indoctrination. And I'll show you from Noblesville schools what they've been consuming since they were like 8, 9, 10 years old. And now they're, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now they're ready to march. So the bonus question is, in relation to question 5, being how do you know who's going to meet these kids? Have you vetted the people? What keeps other organizers from meeting these kids outside when they're protesting? Do the parents of your district know these ICE walkouts are funded and coordinated by the following left-wing organizations? Don't you think that the school should send this list out to parents? Go, hey, parents, some of your kids want to go and march against ICE. Wanted to let you know, though, here are the organizations that are behind this coordinated nationwide walkout in schools. How many parents do you think will be okay with that? How many? Well, some will. We know some will. But those are the questions. So please use them. Again, this is in the thread. This is in the thread under our live stream. Here's the questions in X form. Here is the Google Drive. You can just copy, paste it. This is the Instagram version, which is what I just showed you. Okay, so there's no excuse because you guys get it in very different forms. And we wanted to make it super easy for you guys. So all you got to do is copy and paste and send it to your school. So please use it. And then let us know. Tag us on it. Let us know. We love to hear from you. If you don't want to tag us publicly, just send us a DM. We try to keep up with the messages. There's a lot of messages. So use them. Please use them. I want to show you this example of these examples are from about 5 years ago. And so you understand that the kids that are marching today that are 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 18, something like that, they've been consuming this for a better part of 5 or 6 years. So let's take someone who's 15. They've been consuming this since they were 10. If someone's 16, they've been consuming this since they were 11 or 10, depending on, where they are. Some of them even earlier. Some of them, they've been consuming it since they were 8. It depends on where you are in what state. Some states got the critical race theory and social emotional learning a little earlier. Some states got it a little later. So some of the states, like the one I'm going to show you in Noblesville, these kids, they've been consuming it. Like if they're like 15, they've been consuming it since they're like 9. Okay. But a lot of other kids, some 16, they've been consuming it since they're like 7. So even if you're talking about only 5 years, a kid who's 15 today been consuming it since they were 10. Now, look, if you're like 42 years old, a 42-year-old and a 47-year-old's no different, like really at all, unless you're like super unhealthy. But a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old, they are completely different people. And so if in those 5 years they're consuming what I'm going to show you, there's no way that they're not marching and they're not Trump is a fascist and Trump is a Hitler and we're just protecting our neighbors. They don't know what they're talking about, but they can't possibly, because they've been consuming this for the better part of a very between 10 and 15 or 11 and 16 or 9 and 14. Those are very formative years. Those are very, very formative years. And so, let me just check this here. Are we good? Did we good? Are we died? Are we still on? Okay, we're on. Okay, good. Oh man, there's something wrong with X. I'm still on live, right? Jen, am I still on? Yeah, it looks like I'm still on. But X is down. So I can't get to what I want to show you. Or at least my X on this side. So what the heck? Wow. Okay. Weird. All right. Well, I'll come back to that if I can get to it. I don't think can I get to anything on X? Huh. All right, let's see. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was going to show you some of the indoctrination. Here, actually, you know what? Maybe I can pull it up on my laptop. Give me a second here. If I can't pull up on X, sometimes X is going through a maintenance or something because I cannot get to the stuff that I wanted to show you. Let me pull it up. Let's see if I can pull it up here. I guess I didn't save it off. Oh, you know what? Here, hang on. Let me see if I can. Oh, I know. You know what? Here, I'll show it to you. Here are some of the. Okay. Here are some of the. I'll just give you guys just a little glimpse of some of the stuff that the Noblesville, this group here. I'll show it to you, and then I'll show you what they've been feeding kids for the last. So these two are the superintendent and principal, and they are planning allowing kids to march on February 2nd, which is a Monday. Okay, which is a Monday. Why do I have double cameras here? All right, Monday. And so abolish ICE, Noblesville, they're walking out at 10 right in the middle of the day. It's bullshit. Right? It's absolute bullshit. And they're taking the chicken shit way out. They were like, oh, they just, it's First Amendment. We can't stop them. It's not our fault. They just want to march. No, it is your fault. It is your fault because you've been feeding them a steady diet of anti-white, anti-America, critical race theory for the better part of 6 years. Okay. And we're going to show you that. Okay. We're going to show you that. So here is there's their email, their phone number. We encourage people to drop them an email. You can call them, but I heard that they actually shut down voicemail for a little bit because they got slammed so much. I think they turned their voicemail back on earlier today. But yeah, they have this long ass email too. It's stupid. But there you go. So, all right. Noblesville is in Indiana. Yet again, another really beautiful suburb. And they are doing this nonsense, trying to get kids to march and shit like that, right? I'll show you their, here's the flyer. Here's the flyer that the schools have been passing around, right? Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This is from one of the safest cities, safest towns in America. One of the nicest towns, Noblesville. And this is what this is like I said, they want these kids in Noblesville to grow up and vote in policies to turn beautiful towns like Noblesville into Minneapolis. That's what they want to do. All grades are welcome to participate. I mean, just think about this is what your money's going towards. This is what your money's going towards. All right. So let me show you a little bit of what these people at Noblesville have been giving your kids. Okay. Here's a guy that they brought in, Scott Martin, who presented to kids about white privilege. He said in the video, they took the video down, but they said, why do I do this? He said that white people should go around apologizing to people of color for racism. I mean, this is truly, literally, he even thanked the superintendent at the time. It was a different superintendent at the time, but this is the kind of people they bring in to talk to your kids about white supremacy and about how white people are oppressive. I mean, it was complete bullshit. They were segregating by race. He broke them into different groups. I mean, it was just, this is the kind of shit that they put your kids through. Okay. Here is your 11th grade anti-racism assignment. Unpacking the invisible knapsack of white privilege. This is 11th grade, right? And it goes on and on and on about privilege and power and all these different things. Earned strength, unearned power. I mean, just pure this is critical race theory. This is what critical race theory is. Same thing here. Privilege and oppression, 11th grade English. Then you get down to the 8th grade. You got all these white privilege things. I mean, it's just on and on. This is all taken by parents, by the way. You got BLM flags. Okay. Here's 8th grade, systemic racism in the 8th grade language arts, middle school. Okay. This is critical race theory. They're not teaching kids what critical race theory is, as we always say. They're teaching kids how to think and behave like critical race theorists. The power of racist ideas, assumptions, and worldviews, resistance to racism, on and on and on. Systemic racism is all around us and within us. 8th grade, this is what they're teaching 8th grade, okay? People of color and enrichment of white people, impoverishment of people of color, enrichment of white people, alienating racist relationship between white people and people of color, the racist power of white elites. I mean, they're giving teachers white fragility, that disgusting critical race theory book. All the teachers read it. They read it in the summer. They did professional development on it. They came in, they had speakers come in talking about this shit book, and they brought this shit into schools. Racist images and resultant white fears can be found in all levels of society. And a myriad of studies demonstrate that white believe that people of color and blacks are dangerous. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that they're teaching your teachers. White identity is inherently racist. White people do not exist outside a system of white supremacy. This is the kind of books that the teachers and the school counselors and the principals and the superintendents and the school board members, they all consumed it, and they brought the same ideas into the classroom. So it goes on and on and on, right? These are just taken by parents. They're taken by whistleblower parents. And so now, after 5 to 6 years of consuming all this, now these kids that are 9 and 10 are 15 and 16. And yeah, they're ready to march against white supremacy and white nationalism and Nazism. They've been trained to do it. They've been trained to do it. So don't let these schools gaslight you by saying, oh, this is just kids practicing their civic engagements. If you let kids grow up normally and they have a happy childhood and they're just dealing with their own teenage angst and things like that, they're not going to give a shit about ICE going in and deporting violent illegal aliens. Did you care about that when you were a child? When you were 14 and 15, think back. What did you care about? What did you care about? Did you care about, oh my God, there are people in Minneapolis. They need my help. They're my neighbors. They're illegal, but they belong here. Did you care about that at 14 and 15? Come on. Come on. These kids care about that because they've been taught to, and they've been lied to. And the schools are now trying to gaslight you by saying, that's not what that meant. That's not what that means. All right, share this live stream. Share Courage After Dark. We are going to cover 2 more things. I am going to show you a connection we made that Governor Tim Walz is partnering with an ICE Watch network, a violent ICE Watch network. I'll take you through it. It's crazy. I mean, it's insane. It really is. The number of things that are coming out. But what we need, of course, is we need our justice system, or Department of Justice, to actually bring down consequences. Because if we don't, then they're just going to be more emboldened. They just really are. That's the thing that Americans need to see. We need to see justice, like real consequences. I'm not talking about arresting a couple of low-hanging thugs that are walking into a church. They should be arrested, which is great. But we need the people like Governor Walz. And as we're going to show you, this is just and we're only doing just a little. This is just a little bit. We've got, I want to give a shout out to an independent journalist named Cam Higbee. If you follow us and you're on X, likely you've seen his amazing work. He's the one who he's the one who infiltrated these signal groups. And then now he's working with these amazing people like what's Pepe's it's Pepe's grandma, but it's Bad Kitty Unleash. She does great work. Data Republican, those guys, those are heavy hitters in terms of data and digging for things when it comes to this. And so it's been a pleasure to watch their work, and we piggyback off of that and found this piece, and try to just contribute a little bit. And so I want to show it to you. I want to show you what it is that we found. I think this is it's pretty damn remarkable for sure. All right. So off of, again, what I mentioned, Cam Higbee. Okay. He is an independent journalist. He is he's just digging. He's just digging and finding these things. He infiltrated the signal group of an Ice Watch network. For those of you who don't know, an Ice Watch network, it's a network that impedes ICE. They dox them. They jot down their license plate number. They go out and cause all the violence and all the chaos. They blow whistles. They try to basically do everything they can so that ICE cannot do their job and deport violent illegal aliens. That's what an Ice Watch network is. And he infiltrated their signal group and completely destroyed them. It's hilarious. And then now the Ice Watch, the groups are turning on each other. You got to follow him. If you know, this is Cam Higbee, Camhigby, Cam Higbee, Higby, because he's posting all the, how they're falling apart. They're blaming each other, thinking each other's a Fed because he's infiltrated them. It's hilarious. Anyway, through his work, we found a woman named Amanda Kohler, Koehler. Amanda Kohler. She was she was one of the main leaders of this group that she wrote about. And we found this LinkedIn. This is a LinkedIn write-up that she wrote a few weeks ago. And she mentioned Marnica. And we're like, what's Marnica? We've never heard of it. And so we started digging what that was. Because we know that this woman's involved because Cam had found her in these signal groups. So she's basically wrote in her LinkedIn to encourage people to basically impede ICE. And then she says, this is the website. So go to this website. So we're like, okay, what's Marnica? Well, we discovered that Marnica is one of the main Ice Watch network that's causing all the chaos and all the violence in Minnesota. Everything that you're seeing. Likely they sent all these morons like that nurse out there, and he's part of these networks. These Monica, this type of network. That's how they get radicalized. They get pushed out there. So as we dug more, check this out. On Governor Walz's website. Okay, on his website. Here, look, we'll actually pull the website up. Okay, on his website. Still on there. Here, I'll stop this and I'll share. Look at this. We went to his website. This is Governor Walz's administration website. Is mn.gov/ombudfam/news/community, but basically is the Minnesota Office of Ombudsperson for Families. Look at this. Look at this. Marnica Rapid Response Line. Same thing right here, right on their site. The Immigrant Defense Network is also another radical left-wing organization that keeps illegal aliens in here. They also talk about CARE, which is the Muslim terrorist organization. They also link that. That's a whole other exposure. They're working with the Muslim terrorist organization CARE. CARE is a terrorist organization. In fact, 2 states, I think Florida and Texas, had deemed them a terrorist organization because that's what they are. They're a Muslim terrorist organization. They use Salute which is an Ice Watch network strategy. They borrowed that from the military to try to track and impede insurgents because they considered ICE the insurgents. These people are so demented. They don't consider violent illegals that's literally invaded our country insurgents. They don't consider them insurgents. They consider ICE, our federal military, our federal agents that's tasked to getting rid of these violent people. They consider them the insurgents. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And so we have made that connection. So that is crazy. That is crazy. Not only that, we then later on discovered this is Governor Walz's lieutenant. So look at this is again, there's another guy. I gotta give him a shout out as well. I'll tag him here too. It's Tony Highspeed. He did some great work. He found a bunch of stuff. You can see here that all their writings, all their trainings in their signal groups, you can see all the chats and everything. All the training and documentation has that butterfly, that monitor. This is the ICE out main community. You can see their training. It's all using that butterfly logo. Okay, that butterfly logo. So he did great work. He found a bunch of that stuff. He also was the one who found. The butterfly. His eagle eye spotted the butterfly. Literally, check this out right there. Here's that butterfly. I don't know if you can see that right in the protest. They're holding up that. Is that same Monica, butterfly, the logo. So, oh crap, I closed it. Can I get back to it? Oh, good. So yeah, I mean, it's absolutely, it's crazy. Not only that, later on, after this exposure, we also found that the lieutenant governor, look at this. Look what she's wearing. She's wearing the logo of Monica, the butterfly logo. And in this video, she's encouraging Minnesota, the people in Minnesota to impede ICE. They're literally working with a violent terrorist network that wants to keep illegal aliens in this country. This video is still on her Instagram right now. If you go to her Instagram and scroll down, maybe like 4 weeks back, something like that, 4 or 5 weeks back, that video is still there. So I don't know. I don't know how much more our Department of Justice needs to charge these people with treason. You're talking about a sitting governor, a sitting lieutenant governor partnering with these organizations that legitimately simply want to keep these violent monsters in our country. How in the hell is that not treason? They are actively working against the safety of Americans and the people that they're supposed to be protecting, which is Americans, not foreigners, not illegals. All right. So I'm going to skip the sunrise movement. I'm going to come back. We'll do that on the next episode. Like I said, we're traveling next week. So it'll have to be the week after that. But the sunrise movement is interesting, and I want to devote some time to that. So I want to end this public. I want to end this Courage After Dark live stream by showing you a small curation of insufferable woke white women and how insane they are. So share this live stream, if nothing else, for this last segment, because I think it's worth the entire live stream. So if you've hung out with me for the last 2 hours, great. Thank you for hanging out with me on a Friday night. But if you just got on, you're in luck, and share this live stream. Share this live stream because I'm going to show you a couple of videos that I think are absolutely just, it goes to show you that the greatest threat to our nation is not even illegal aliens. It's the woke white women, because they support everything that's bad. They support everything that's bad for families, parents, kids, our country, sanity, health. All right, you guys ready? This is my favorite. This is all right. Here's one. This hunter spots an unhinged Karen out in the wild while he was hunting. She sees them hunting. I think they were hunting ducks. I think they were duck hunting, or something like that. Something like that. And she goes nuts.
Hey, bro, what kind of bird is that? Huh? What kind of bird is that? First. I'm not really sure. I think it's a legendary parrot.
Those are decoys, not ducks. Fucking retard.
We don't want you shooting around here.
I don't give a fuck. I don't want you walking around here.
Oh, fuck off. This is public property.
Exactly my point.
We don't shoot anything alive, you fuck off.
These are already dead. These are already dead.
I don't care.
They're already dead.
I don't like shooting you. Fuck off. You fuck off.
Those birds identified as dead already.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, I'm trying.
Here. Now.
How ironic is it that when you first heard her, she sounded like a bird? Gawk off! Gawk off! And you're like, what's she saying? And then when she gets closer, you're like, oh, she's saying fuck off. This, this woke white woman was the one who was screaming at people to wear a mask back in 2020, 21, 22. You know that. You know that. All right. Okay. So this vile, I think she was a nurse. I think they found out she was a nurse. And Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary for Trump, she announced her pregnancy. She announced that she was pregnant maybe about a month ago. Listen to what remember now, these are the love and inclusion and empathy. Where's your empathy, people? They're the people that always can't shut the fuck up about empathy and compassion. Okay. Let's listen to what she wished, the message she wants to send to Caroline, who just announced she was pregnant.
My wish for Caroline Leavitt. She is pregnant with a baby girl, and I truly do hope that baby is so healthy. I hope she's healthy and headstrong. So headstrong, in fact, that as she is emerging into this world through Caroline's geriatric tech garage, that she tears her from bow to fucking stern. Grade 4 tear. Like so big that when she gets out of the shower naked and walks across the room, like she accidentally picks up dog toys. Yeah. That's my wish for you, Caroline.
Think about the mental state of a person that points a camera at herself and says that about someone who's pregnant. These people are evil. These woke white women. This is why they don't have a problem transing kids, cutting off healthy breasts, doing all the horrific surgeries and sterilizations, allowing legal aliens in, killing people, killing Americans. As long as it's against conservatives or against white people, they don't care. This is how demented they are. This is how demented they are. Okay. This liberal white woman leaves a farewell message to her mom in case ICE comes to get her.
A message from my mom. If I am executed by ICE officers today, it will not be because of anything that I did. I want you to know a couple things. First, I don't carry weapons on me. Second, I won't be holding any signs. There will be no indication from me that I'm a violent person or a threat to anyone. I do not plan on following anyone. I do not plan on screaming or shouting or even speaking to anyone. I am there to observe and document. This is a historical moment for me in my lifetime, for the state of Minnesota, and no matter what the outcome is, I believe it deserves to be documented. I believe it is my responsibility and my right to document it firsthand as an observer, show what is happening in my city. I believe in the freedom and the foundations of America and the United States Constitution. I also believe in change and progress. If I am executed today by ICE officers, it will not be because of anything that I did. I'm saying this because I need you to understand what you're supporting and what you're fighting against, and possibly reconsider.
No one gives two shits about her. ICE don't give two fucking shits about her as long as she's not getting in their way. These kind of woke white women, there's no hope for them because they live in an alternate reality. Likely she went to college. I mean, it sounds like her mom's conservative, which is why the message is trying to guilt her mom. It's just a mini struggle session. Trying to guilt her and is saying ICE is going to kill her. ICE don't give two shits about her. These woke white women in college have gotten K through 12, and then it goes to college and they get activated. They've gotten their brains so broken that they will fall for everything. Everything. There is not a social contagion that the left-wing media will put out, that Instagram won't put out, that TikTok won't put out, that they won't fall for. They will believe it all. They will swallow it hook, line, and sinker. There is not a single lie that, as long as it's against white people and conservatives, that they will not believe. This woman believes she's some sort of hero, that it's almost like her life is so meaningless. She wants to be executed so that the left-wing media and Hollywood can fake cry about her. I don't know what's happened to these woke white women other than the white shame that's made their life so miserable and so meaningless that they have to attach on to every lie and every latest thing that comes their way. This is absolutely unhinged because ICE don't give two shits about her. She's just sitting in a corner filming. She genuinely believes ISIS is going around killing people for fun. Just like she believed during the piece of shit George Floyd days that the police were going around killing black people for fun. There is a 100% chance that she believed that back then. There's 100% chance that she believed that you had to mask all the time or people are going to die and that she had to get vaccines. And I mean, these people are they believe everything. It's truly, truly remarkable. Really just. Here's one. Now, this one is satisfying. This one's actually very satisfying. So here we go. This is very satisfying. All right, here we go. Welcome to the liberal white women crazy train. The video just speaks for itself.
Garbage? Are you ice garbage? Mom, who are you? What's your name? Are you ice? Oh, you don't want me to take a picture of your face? Is that because you're ice? Garbage? Are you ice garbage?
How satisfying with that? That was very satisfying, right? That's very satisfying. Oh yeah, of course, this is our woke white woman. I think if those of you who followed us, this is probably our actually most downloaded thing that we've ever created. It's our insufferable woke white woman. If you haven't seen it, I do highly recommend that you go get it. If you go to courageisahabit.org and click under strategies, it's the strategies or tools, one or the other. You will find the dossier of useful idiots. The dossier of useful idiots. Okay. And you will find that. Let me see. It's under strategies. I can't remember. It's under strategies. Yeah. A dossier of useful idiots. And you will find this one and 5 other archetypes. Hilarious. Very, very funny. Jesus Christ. All right, let's see. So this is a thread I started in the beginning of the year because throughout 2026, I will be collecting a series of these videos. And my goal is that by the end of 2027, I will have a time capsule of insufferable woke white women so that historians can study this phenomenon. And then at the end of 2027, like in December, I will go through some of these videos. But I was shocked at how many videos I already got. And it's not even, we're not even in February yet. And so it's going well. So if you have something that you're like, wow, this woke white woman is just off the hinge, tag me so that I can add it. So we can add it to our thread here. There's so many, I'm just skipping around a little bit because, all right. So this one here, I'm going to let you watch it on mute. Okay. I don't know why I say that, but I'm going to let you watch this
to pay for this mob of unhinged.
Okay. I'm going to let you watch it on mute just because, and then I will play it with sound. Okay. But I want you to watch this just on mute. Okay. Here we go. I mean, look at this. All right, so I'll play it with the sound. I'm telling you, I am telling you, no matter what you don't like about this country, you will find a woke white woman that's supporting it. I promise you, the worst things in this country, a woke white woman will support it. They are truly a dark plague in this society. I would deport them all before I deport like Mexicans. I seriously mean that. I will deport every single woke white woman before I deport Mexicans because they support just the worst things and they believe everything. They're so stupid. It's unbelievable.
The United States Senate is voting on ISIS funding next week, and this is a group that does not deserve to be funded. Any senator who votes to continue to pay for this mob of unhinged murderers is out of their fucking mind because this cannot be retrained. This has to be stopped. So if you are a U.S. senator right now, do not write a fucking tweet. Do not write a fucking tweet. Write a bill. Write a bill that abolishes this heinous department. The United States Senate is voting on
ICE is killing people, not the illegal aliens. Not the illegal aliens that are killing all these innocent American women and children and people's parents. But no, ICE is the killer. That's it. You see, how do you live with people like this? I mean, the irony is she goes, they cannot be untrained. They can't, woke white women can't be untrained. There's no way that you're going to undo the shit that they heard in college and since kindergarten, since high school and middle school and then in college and then in the culture and all the books that they read and all the Instagram, accounts that they follow. The irony is there's no way to train them. She's actually kind of funny about that. Okay. I'm going to end this stream with this because right now I cannot top this necessarily yet. So I will play this and this will be our last one for the stream. If you haven't seen this, you got to buckle up here because this is oh man. Ladies and gentlemen, the dark plague of America right here.
Honestly, unfucking believable that this is where our fucking country is. This is our fucking country, the land of the free, not land of the white people. What the fuck is wrong with people? What is wrong? This is America! America! Are we great yet? Make America great! Is this what you fucking want? So you don't want my brown babies here either, do you? You dumb fucks! When I fucking cried 10 fucking years ago, this is why I cried! This is why I cry! This is why we're fucking all fucking a hot mess! Because we saw this shit coming! And now you motherfuckers are sitting silent. A-okay. But now they just shot a white man. A 37-year-old white man. Oh, but you know what? He was probably a liberal terrorist, right? So MAGA, all you motherfuckers are okay with that, right? You're okay with that?
He was a liberal terrorist, though.
I've cut most of you motherfucking MAGA ass quats out of my life a long fucking time ago, but I'm here to tell you. You want to fuck with fucking ICE people? You want to vote for fucking people that think that this shit is okay? Attacking our state? Our government is under fucking attack against our neighbors, our college roommates, our fucking teachers, our fucking policemen, our fucking small business owners. They're attacking all of us. I fucking hate all of you who voted for this, and I hate every single one of you who have stayed silent even fucking more. If you support this, that means you do not support me and my brown husband and my brown children because you want to make fucking America white again. I hope you're fucking happy.
This is what legacy media has done to people. I'm going to leave you guys with this last thought about when you're seeing these unhinged lunatics. And you know what? It would be funny if this was just some lady that points a phone at her face, driving, going, just completely losing her shit. And nothing she says is real. They're attacking teachers and business owners. It's like, it's just made up. Like she just lives. It's as if, I mean, really, she just lives in a different world. So nothing she says is true. But you'll notice that the people who protest ICE are really old, decrepit white women and spineless old males. I don't know what's wrong with the males, but they're just like, they're so pathetic. Or they're really young kids. And here's the reason why. Okay. There has never been a point in human history that a 70-year-old woman and a 17-year-old girl have anything in common, short of them being family, grandmother, granddaughter, obviously, they have family in common. But aside from that, the bond of family and the bond of blood, 70-year-old woman, 17-year-old girl, the life could not be any different in every way, shape, and form. That's the way it should be. It's fine, right? Today, the 70-year-old woman, 70-year-old man out there chanting no kings because they've been told to, going out there and, saying, ICE out and fuck ICE and deport ICE or defund ICE. And the 70-year-old woman, 17-year-old girl, they are identical. They sound identical. They say the same things. They believe the same lies. They spout the same exact lies. How is that possible? What medium can a 17-year-old and a 70-year-old share? The 70-year-old's not on TikTok. So how is that possible? I will tell you how that's possible. The reason why these old, decrepit, woke white people with Trump derangement syndrome and an endless amount of white guilt, and the 17-year-old, the 16-year-old kid can spout the same thing, is because both groups are receiving the exact same propaganda and lie. And it's the same anti-white, the same anti-America. Like that lady there, how many times she's talking about white, make America white again, me and my brown babies. Everything is white guilt, anti-white, white supremacy, white nationalists. Those two groups get the same exact messaging and the same exact training, except it's delivered two very different ways. The old white liberals are getting it from legacy media. They only consume legacy media, and they're probably on Facebook a little bit. And then, of course, the Facebook delivers all the lies and the memes from these super left-wing organizations. It gets shared among their friends. They see a meme, they believe it. So the memes for old people, it's a great way to brainwash them because it gets shared among them, and it's just this left-wing memes that are just straight up lies. But mostly is because they only consume legacy media. 17-year-old, she gets the exact same training through K through 12. Same lies, same training as the legacy media, but she gets it in K through 12. She gets it through social emotional learning. She gets it through media literacy. Those of you who followed us, we talk about media literacy a lot. We will continue to make sure we will not stop until everybody understands that media literacy in schools is basically just peak propaganda. It's just another way to deliver left-wing ideology and get kids to go look at left-wing legacy media only. But they get the same thing. This is why very old people and very young people today sound exactly the same. They march right on beat. They're lockstep. So if you think about it, if you take a step back and think about it, how is that possible? It's only possible if they're getting the same messaging and the same indoctrination, the same training, the same brainwashing. But how? That's impossible because they don't occupy the same media or entertainment space. It's because the old people are getting it from the legacy media and the young people are getting it from K through 12. But the messaging between legacy media and K through 12 is identical. The old people are getting it through CBS, NBC, CNN. The children are getting it through media literacy, which is just the same. It's CNN, CBS, Fox. That's what media literacy is. So this is it's a war of information. It's a war on empathy. This is why we fight so hard for you to guard your empathy and to embrace exclusion. Embracing exclusion right here is a huge part of keeping yourself and your family from falling into the lies. Embracing exclusion helps you see through the noise. Oh, Renee Good, she was a mom and a poet. Oh, this nurse, he was a nurse and he helped veterans. Don't care. Don't care. Embracing exclusion means illegal aliens out of this country. That's it. That's it. Oh, this boy Max, he was crying because there's a white kid that said something to him. Don't care. Deal with it at the school level then. Deal with it at the disciplinary level, which you don't have any, but that's got nothing to do with us deporting illegal aliens. You see how important that mentality is, because if you don't have that strength, if you don't have that foundation of embracing exclusion, you don't have that foundation when these situations come, they can weaponize your emotions, they can weaponize your empathy, they can leverage your kindness. But if you make embrace exclusion your foundation, then you got something to stand on. So thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Obviously, we are very grateful for all your support, for Courage is a Habit. We are certainly working very hard, a lot of projects, a lot of different things so that we get the tools in your hands. CourageIsAHabit.org is where our tools and strategy live. We're actually in the process of migrating to a new site. You'll probably see the new site within the next couple of weeks. Right now we're in the production server. So we're testing. We're very excited because our site is way overdue for an upgrade. We have so much, our catalog's so big that the site, we've completely outgrown our site. So obviously we're very grateful for that. It's a great problem to have, but it is a lot of work to migrate a website. Anybody who's ever done it knows. So right now our site still looks the same. In a couple of weeks, you'll see a brand new site with a lot more features, search capabilities. We're going to be able to package our tools so that when you come in, if you're a parent or a school board member or legislators, that we package tools so that you have a one-stop shop. It's a little easier than to dig through our catalog, which is what you have to do now. But CourageIsAHabit.org is where our catalog is. And of course, we are a nonprofit. We're a 501c3. So any support you give us, it is wholly, truly, we appreciate. It allows us to be able to travel. It allows us to buy subscriptions like for live stream. You wouldn't actually believe how expensive a live stream subscription is when you're trying to store all these episodes, because we don't have the heart to delete these episodes because we got to go back and pull things sometimes. And so donate.courageisahabit.org, which that will also change in a couple weeks as well. And then we're also going to be moving our store. If you want to get, right now, this hat's not available, but it will be very, very soon. We're sold out on the hats. So we're grateful for that. Our Embrace Exclusion hats, we still got Courage is a Habit hats. We've got all the sweatshirts, like the Embrace Exclusion sweatshirt, which is actually very comfortable. So if you want to get a piece of merch, wear your courage. I certainly Embrace Exclusion. It's I wouldn't say every single time, but maybe like 75% of the time when I'm wearing one of these, I'll get a comment from somebody. And it's usually almost always very positive because they understand that this is an important thing. So we got the Embrace Exclusion line. We've got our Courage is a Habit line. And so we'll be making some changes to our shop as well. But right now our shop is up. So that is courageisahabit.org/store. That's another way to support us. And of course, anytime you drop either a one-time, whether it's a monthly $10, $20, or a one-time $20 for us, it goes a long way, and we truly appreciate that. So that is donate.courageisahabit.org. So thank you so much for hanging out with me on a Friday night. We really went long. Man, I feel good. I feel great. This has been such a great start to 2026. I'm so excited for everything that we've worked for. I think last year we really set ourselves up to work hard this year. And I think we're hitting it really, really great. So it's fantastic. You're great. Someone like you that went to your group and you dropped our tools. Thank you so much for doing that. That's absolutely fantastic. We appreciate you. So as I always say, at the end of every episode, and when we go speak when Jen and I go speak to different groups. If you don't stand up for your children today, they will live on their knees tomorrow. So whatever is stopping you from speaking up, understand that it's so much harder for your kids. So stand up for your children today. Otherwise, they will live on their knees tomorrow. My name is Alvin Louie with Courage is a Habit. This is Courage After Dark, and I will see you next time.